Hi, my name is Kelly Lorraine, and welcome to my series, Learning Tarot for Self-Development. In today's video, we're going to talk about something a little bit controversial. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to talk about reading reversals. Should you read reversals in your tarot readings? Now, if you're not sure what I mean by reading reversals, it basically means that you're paying attention to the orientation of the card as it is drawn from the deck. Historically, it is said that tarot was created with the intention of being read upright, which means you're not necessarily paying attention to whether the card came out upside down or upright or to the left or to the right. It just means that the meaning of the card is the meaning of the card and you take it as it is. If you're reading reversals, meaning you're looking at the upside down energy, it means that you're paying attention to about 5 different things. Let me break it down for you. A reversal can mean an opposite meaning of the card itself, blocked energy, internal experiences, shadow aspects or delays, or even a warning sign. Now, before I get into all of those, I'm asking you the question. Do you read reversals? Do you not read reversals? Do you have an opinion on it so far? If not, that's okay, but I'd love to know in the comments where you currently stand. In any tarot reading, I think you have to consider, what is your intention? What are you trying to get out of the reading? I'm going to use a really basic example. I'm going to pick the Chariot card. When the Chariot card comes out upright, we're looking at ambition, victory, success, forward motion, focus. When it comes out reverse, there can be so many different meanings, and I'm going to break it down for you right now. So let's start off with number 1, the opposite meaning of the card. I previously mentioned that the Chariot card upright could mean focus and ambition. If I take the opposite meaning of that card, like the literal opposite, I could have lack of focus or lack of ambition. The second way to look at this is blocked energy. If the Chariot is all about forward motion, victory, making moves, then when it's blocked, it can be seen as an inability to move oneself forward. The third way to look at a reversal could be internal experiences. If the Chariot card is about ambition and focus and moving yourself forward towards your victory, then looking at it from an internal perspective can be that maybe we're trying to control the process a little bit too much. Have you ever heard the expression, less is more? I often think about this in regards to the Chariot in reverse, because if we're looking at forward motion and ambition and going towards that victory, yeah, we're motivated for sure, but sometimes we can try to control the outcome with looking at all the different angles of how to get to that victory. On a side note, I see this quite frequently in the sessions I do with clients. When I get people who come to me and say, but Kelly, I journal, I meditate, I do yoga, I read cards, I do this, I do that, but why aren't things changing? Oftentimes it's because people are trying to do too much. They're trying to show how good they are at moving past some of the things of the past. Sometimes taking a step back and doing a little bit less can mean that you're not trying to control the outcome. So if the Chariot does come up in reverse, it can mean that you're doing too much, you're trying to control the outcome, and you're kind of spinning your tires. We don't want to spin our tires of our Chariot. We want to move forward with ease and with care. We don't want to try to do too much at one time. I guess it could be another way of looking at it like, trust the process, even though I know that's not the initial meaning of the card, but it's amazing how TTP shows up in so many aspects of the cards in the world of tarot. Another way to look at reversals is shadow aspects or delays. I want to remind you, with light, there's dark. There's no way that you're going to have all good or all bad. There's going to be a combination of the two. So therefore, yes, in the upright position, you can be seen as more positive. In the reversal side, you're going to find these shadow aspects or things that we need to work on or work through. And whenever we're working on things from our shadow side, we often encounter delays. Remember what I just said about the Chariot and how we can try to control everything and we don't want to spin our tires? There's an example. The more we try to do something, the more we can actually delay ourselves. So it almost holds you back, even though the intention may be to do so much and push yourself forward and go towards that victory. The intentions are always good. But again, sometimes when you're doing too much, it ends up getting in your own way and causes you the delay. In the case of the Chariot in reverse, these delays basically indicate that you have an obstacle somewhere. and that it's a wake-up call. It's a time for you to take control of your life. Now, again, not trying to do too much, working smart, really, versus working hard. I talk to people about that all the time. The fifth way that you can look at a reversal is a warning, almost like a message in blocked capitals or exclamation point. Imagine for a moment that you have a bunch of upright cards and then suddenly you get a reversal and you're like, whoa, okay, I better pay attention to this. So to some, seeing a reversal can be a bit of a shocker. So let's talk about why people would read reversals. I think one of the things that reversals do is add a layer of complexity to the reading. Now, for some, that's a good thing. For some, not so much, but let's assume for a moment that it is a good thing. Consider the 5 things that we just spoke about a moment ago. That added layer of complexity is going to bring you the opposite meaning of the card, the blocked energies, the internal experiences, the shadow aspects and delays, and even those warning signs. Just imagine how much you're going to have in front of you to analyze. So if you're somebody who likes to analyze and overthink, reading reversals might be for you. Another reason why one might read reversals is directionality. In the upright position, imagine all of the court cards, meaning pages, knights, queens, kings. They all look in a particular direction. If the cards are reversed, there's an opportunity to see where their faces are looking. They might be looking at other cards that you didn't intend to look at. So in other words, if let's say, I don't know, the King of Wands is all of a sudden looking at the Two of Swords in another direction, that King of Wands might be debating if they're going to move themselves forward or not with that purpose and with that passion. They have a decision to make. And you know what I always say, are you in the old, are you in the new? I couldn't help it. For some, you might have just been taught this way. You watched people on YouTube or in tarot readings that read reversals, and that's okay. Maybe that's something that gives you comfort because that's something you've observed at an earlier time. Thinking back to my own tarot practice, when I first started watching tarot readings, I didn't follow anybody that actually read reversals. So for me, I was just always used to seeing upright cards and then developing my own intuition on how to read the energies or those shadow aspects that I mentioned earlier. I just want to remind you that, again, it's completely your choice as to whether you do read reversals or you don't. But let's talk about why some people don't read reversals. Historically, it is said that tarot was not created with the intention of having reversed cards. It seems to have been added with modern interpretations and ways of reading the cards. It's also not necessary. As I said earlier, you don't have to read reversals. It's completely up to you. It's okay if you do, and it's okay if you don't. It doesn't make you a better tarot card reader if you do read reversals. I think that if we add this extra layer of complexity, it almost appears like we're such a better tarot reader, but visually seeing the cards reversed and interpreting them that way doesn't necessarily mean that you don't already read reversed energy when seeing them upright. Another reason, it's overwhelming. I mean, look, it's already difficult enough to learn all the meanings of the cards upright. Adding reversals into the mix really brings about a lot of overthinking that may not even really be necessary to the reading. I'm not gonna lie, visually, I find reading cards upside down or reversed kind of weird. The images don't come into my brain naturally. I have to really think about them when I see them upside down. So if it's second nature to you to look at something in reverse or upside down or from a different angle, amazing. But I don't really like having to decipher the imagery. I like actually seeing it exactly the way that it is. Here's another thought about reading reversals. It can be seen as slightly negative. Again, it really depends on the person, and it depends on the person who's receiving the message. Now, you might be doing that reading for someone else. You may be doing it for yourself. Think of the feeling that might come from seeing a card in reverse, especially a really good card. What if somebody got the Lovers and all of a sudden it was in reverse and they went, oh, does that mean I'm not getting any love? Does that mean it's not meant for me? Does that mean this is bad? Does this mean that this relationship isn't for me? It's all about interpretation, and it's all about perspective. Personally, I don't think we need to read reversals, and I'm going to tell you why. Not every card in the deck is positive. I know I'm only referencing the major arcana here, but I want you to think about something. Card 0, which is the Fool, trusting, taking a leap of faith, all the way to card 21, the World, completion of a cycle, is not going to be rainbows and butterflies. How many of you like the idea of doing something new, taking a leap of faith, Don't you think we all have fear about starting something or beginning a new phase in our life? Of course we do. When we get to the high priestess where we're getting signs and synchronicities and we're ascending, a lot of those times, those signs and synchronicities can actually pull us backwards instead of forwards. So it's not necessarily a positive thing to see signs and synchronicities. Now, I've made a video about angel numbers and signs and synchronicities. You might want to check that out. I believe that if you're seeing signs, synchronicities, and angel numbers, they're meant to give you messages to push you forward. If you're attributing them to a specific person, a relationship, or something of the past, and they're pulling you backwards and stopping you from making those moves, that's when I think they actually bring you to a place that is more negative. Yes, we love seeing the Lover's card. We like seeing the Chariot card. We like the Wheel of Fortune that's shifting us into new things. Actually, that Wheel of Fortune, that shift, a lot of people fight that shift. And that means that there's a fear of going to the second half, essentially, of the journey. How many people like getting the Tower card? That moment that brings you to your knees, shakes up your whole world. How many people like to see the Death card? People sometimes get scared and think that this is literal death. It's not a literal death, it's transformation, a death and a rebirth of oneself, the phoenix rising from the ashes. I don't know about you, but how many of you love a wake-up call? How many of you love getting the Judgment card where you get news coming in that can shake things up for you and force that transformation and change? And then we get to the World card. How many people really like to leave the old behind? Yes, it's exciting. It sounds wonderful to start something new, but your new life is going to cost you your old life, and a lot of grief comes from that process. Now imagine adding reversals to all of this, right? Adding that complexity and all that overthinking. I don't really think that the cards in the tarot really need any more negative aspects. It all depends, again, on your perspective, your intuition, your experiences. It's totally up to you. I really don't need the cards to show me in reverse that somebody's struggling with a particular concept, situation, or life event. I already know all the possibilities that can go into each card, and I'm comfortable with reading the situation based on the person and the cards that come out in front of me. I trust myself. That is the main thing that I think everybody needs to understand about tarot reading. You have to trust yourself. You have to know what you know, and that's all you need to know, and build on that through experience. I think we have to remember something, and that is the Fool's journey, as in card 0 to card 21, is basically the human condition or human nature. We have to look at this journey as a human journey. There's things on a human level that we all experience despite our race, gender, or class. Think about it. We all go through the maturation process. We all make mistakes, and we all grieve, whether that's the death of a person or a relationship. These are all things that are considered universal. That's why we have to look at things from the bigger picture, meaning we understand the universe, humanity, spirituality, our day-to-day lives. It's all connected. I hope the information in this video helped you. Now again, in the comments after watching, tell me your opinion. Do you think we should read reversals, or do you think no, they don't have a place within our tarot readings? Again, there's no right, there's no wrong, it's totally up to you, but I really do value your opinion. Please give me a like, a comment, a subscribe. It really helps the algorithm and for other people to find this video. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.